Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Charlotte Products bi-weekly webinar series. Today is Friday, August the 14th, and thank you for joining us today. As usual, we hope your families and your employees are staying safe and keeping up to date with the latest news and suggested precautions. Today's really remarks here is there's the governments across the world are spending millions of dollars in supporting business growth and new programs, and as recent as this morning, which is what we like to keep you up to date, I guess, with there, is the Ontario government alone has announced a huge $1 million investment in helping schools and education buildings revamp their HVAC and ventilation systems, which is a good thing to see, because I mean, really, how often do people treat and clean or disinfect the air filtration systems in furnaces and condensers and things like that? So it's a good thing, and just one example of the government really supporting us there. And I think you'll see a lot of new support come from the government as a general rule for really lowering the risk of outbreaks and helping us. So it's obviously interesting times as we continue to reopen businesses, as we close them again, and we're witnessing, the sad part is we're really witnessing an increase in the cases of illness and across the world, and actually deaths. So it seems to be ramping up there a little bit. The next few weeks are going to be very interesting, and I think we'll have a lot of learnings when school goes back in, and we'll see, really, that'll be the telltale sign of really how well the general public practices social distancing and wearing masks and washing their hands and using alcohol-based hand sanitizer and things like that. So major news as well. The FDA just announced that a lot of the distilleries across North America are actually going back to making their alcohol products now, as opposed to hand sanitizers. Because most manufacturers, including us, have caught up with demand and are restocking now and things. So, but just be cautious, because there will be fewer suppliers there as a general rule. So make sure you've picked the right product that works best for you. I'd encourage you to try ours, actually, because we actually think it's the best, but we can service you moving forward quite well, as a matter of fact there. So that's a couple of things changing there. Canada, I want to talk about Canada's top doctor here, which is Theresa Tam. She's written a few quotes and articles this week that really talk about warning that this fall will be a period of change and challenge, and really, quite honestly, most falls are, because really influenza, how is it going to ramp up? Is it going to be worse than the years before? Is it going to be stable? Is it going to be even less of an issue this year? But she goes on to say that a key thing that provincial and federal and municipal health officials can do to combat the virus as fall draws near is identifying misinformation. False news, which you hear about, and we've talked about it with disinfectants and all of these magical formulas that once you apply them, we have knives and spears that puncture the bacteria, and then it dies and all this kind of stuff, and then it stays active for 6 months or a year or whatever. And now really the Canada Health is actually is really warning us of those false things there. So and it's easy to get the wrong information simply because of the travel of the internet and social media and things like that. So everybody really needs to learn how to identify that proper and credible information there. We always recommend the Center for Disease Control. We always recommend the World Health Organization, your local public health centers and things like that. Just don't go by somebody who's, it just sounds too good to be true, because as you know, normally if it is, it generally is too good to be true. So she cautioned that the struggle against COVID-19 is also complicated by the fact that the knowledge and advice public health officials provide are subject to rapid change. What we knew last week is totally different than what we knew this week, as a matter of fact, and next week we're going to know more. So how do you keep up with that? Well, you've got to stay tuned to the most credible information that you absolutely can. The public in general, I think I guess from a personal point of view, we're doing okay at best as far as practicing social distancing, but really we're not. You go out to the stores, you see people. I witnessed 2 people this week in a store in our city, and two individuals walked in, were returning an item at the merchandise counter, and none of them were wearing a mask, and quite honestly, they were offended when the clerk behind the plexiglass sneeze guard screen told them that she couldn't service them unless they had a mask, and that's just morally wrong. That's incorrect. That's not good for any single one of us. And that really brings me into talking about my mirror. I mean, that person that looks back at you in the mirror is 100% responsible for their part, right? Lowering the risk or increasing the risk, right? So that being said, we all have to tolerate it is an era of change, and we have to be a little more patient. But we also, if we follow the guidelines, look, we're going to be okay. Right. But if we don't, then we're not going to be okay. Right. So our critical role in pre-planning, we continue to get orders for disinfectants and pump up sprayers and alcohol-based hand sanitizers as governments may even increase and mandate the supply in public facilities. We cannot stress enough the fact that you need to have the appropriate products on hand, and you need to have the extra inventory on hand. And I would suggest also ordering sooner than later. Right. There's all kinds of, bits and pieces of information. There's raw materials for quats, again, are becoming suspect as far as the availability. And what I'd like you to do is really heed the advice and order that in, because it may not be long before we switch back from concentrated dilutable disinfectants in some cases back to ready to use. Right. Whatever we need to do, we will make sure you get something, to lower the risk and make sure that you meet the needs of your objective every day. But I really want you to know that this fall panic could set in, and you should be ahead of the curve for that. So with that being said, let's begin today's session, Friday, August the 14th. So we change it up a little bit this week. Last week we skipped last week there. We're trying to get some vacations in and things, and we decided we're going to do a bi-weekly webinar. So the next one will be actually Friday, August the 28th, and just so you know there, and you'll have the automatic invite for that as well. I know we had some questions this week about people saying, writing in saying, did I miss something? Which is a good question. And it also proves to us that they're actually watching. And no, you didn't. We've been announcing we would change it a little bit there. You know me there, and I'm not even going to talk about it anymore there. So we still continue with cleaning protocols to lower the risk of an outbreak. It is bi-weekly starting today. A reminder to continue to submit the questions during and after the seminar, during the days following the seminar up to the next seminar. All of our people behind the scenes gather them and prepare them for us, and we answer hundreds of questions during the week, which is a good thing because people honestly need help, and that's what we're here for. That's one of the services we provide. Today, we've been asked many, many times, if you've been watching, for do you do wood floor coatings? I mean, what kind of programs do you have? What kind of product offering and training and things like that? And do you have really a water-based wood floor coating program for my sports or education sector floors? And we've been asked that all kinds of times, and we thought we'll add that into the equation today. Because as you know, the smoother surface on a floor, the less porous it is. COVID-19 is a droplet-based virus, and it goes down. And if the nooks and crannies are open, you could have a possible spread and a host environment for it. So let's maintain coatings on all of our vinyl and our terrazzos and concrete and all those things, and also wood floor. We've got a very good wood floor program we're going to talk about here a little bit today, that if you're in any kind of these facilities, you want the best water-based coating proven program, then just pay attention, because we're going to talk to you about that here, because it is proven exceptional, right? Ties in labor efficiencies as well. Your costs, budgets, all of those things. And obviously, you're not, you have to watch that. It's 90% of your spend. If you remember us talking about our dollars all the time, here. So it's just as relative with wood floor. So cross-contamination prevention, obviously we'll talk. And then of course we've got Ask with Williams here, who's going to join us there with the questions and answers in the end. And so far, apparently there's some good questions coming in, and you won't see all the questions on the screen because some people choose to go private and whatever there. So let's talk about floor reservoirs. It's the home of microorganisms. Sports floors that are used for athletic activity will have a higher risk of virus transfer. It just automatically will, or I guess legally I could say may. Just, you've got athletes, you've got students running around, you've got a little bit of sweat, you've got a little bit of spit, a little bit of pops there, all of those things. Sometimes people are ill, so there's organic matter there, a perfect really host environment for it. So obviously we need to address that, and that's what today's session is about. So really lowering that risk, right? Floors, the largest square footage, the largest reservoir. COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria being, airborne, droplet-based, whatever. And floors are the single largest reservoir there. That's why in our previous webinars, we've talked about the importance of auto scrubber and doing the floors and disinfecting and sanitizing your cleaning equipment, your recovery tanks and solution tanks of your auto scrubbers and wet vacs and carpet extractors and things. Don't lose sight of that. That should be part of your returning to work protocol and really getting your equipment ready to get back into service on a regular basis whenever your facility does that. So let's talk about wood floor. The elements. When we talked about vinyl floors, we had 5 critical elements to follow, and really that's important for vinyl floor, right? But let's talk about wood, because it is a very costly process, and when you mess up a floor in a 800 square foot classroom and you don't deep strip it, or you don't put the right finish down, or you apply it when it's too humid or whatever, it's not really, it's an aggravation, but it's only 800 square feet. When you mess up a wood floor gymnasium, it could be 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, right up to 13,000 square feet. And when you mess it up, it's a very costly process to recover, to really rebuild it and whatever. So it's very important that you follow these 4 critical elements. And if you follow these 4, you'll prolong the life of your wood floor coating program, probably double the life, right? So pre-routine number 1 here, this is really, if you see in red and in brackets, this is really identifying external entrances. And this is your best return on investment. Sports, if you're playing badminton or volleyball or basketball or floor hockey, whatever it is on wood floors, there's a lot of aggressive activity. There's a lot of back and forth, stopping, turning right, turning left. And if you've got any kind of soil or grit on that surface, those shoes and the impact and the friction can obviously play havoc on it there. So if it isn't cleaned properly, if you just don't dust mop or clean properly with the right product, you will actually degrade that in a really expedite the problem that goes on. You will wear it out in half of the time, and you can't afford to do that, right? So when we talk about external entrances, these are the entrances that when your gymnasium or sports floor adjoins the parking lot, or the soccer field where the grass is and it's wet and whatever, and they've just cut the grass and you're bringing the grass in and the grit in, you're bringing any kind of weed spray treatment in, you're bringing moisture in, snow, ice, salt, whatever, because there are winter activities as well. And so this is really taking making a note of addressing those immediate outdoor entrances. Okay, your most cost-effective solution is really having a broom system, a sweeper system, wet dry vacuums, along with proper entrance matting right at those specific outdoor areas, those door areas there, to keep that grit and dirt and moisture and all kinds of sand and everything else outside in the parking lot where it belongs. For many, many years, I've visited gymnasiums, and I've very seldom seen, in fact, probably I can tell you honestly, never, I have seen a program or a facility that actually has this type of program in place. I mean, the cost of $100 entrance matting could probably double or extend the life of your wood floor program. A $300 wet dry vacuum to pick up the debris. A sweeper outside that periodically you run it by the entrance and things like that. These are all a broom and a dustpan. A liquor broom and one of those fiberglass bags. All of these things, very, very low cost, can actually, prolong the life of this. This is a huge impact on your budget. Okay, when we get also under routine here, now this is number 2, we switch to internal entrances, right? And your best return on investment here is, these are the areas where you adjoin to your hallways. Okay, and there's thousands of students and athletes that go up and down the halls all throughout your facilities there that carry dust and dirt and debris and spills and things like that. Right. So what we recommend is a quality dust mopping or a flat mop program, right? And having, most importantly, not just buying it once, but establishing a frequent cleaning protocol that to match the amount of people that you've got in the building and the type of sports activity that you've got going on. Right. What you could do is I could tell you, you can take your hand on any particular floor, you can wipe it on the floor, lift up your hand, and you tell me what's on the bottom of your hand. And then you had thousands of students with their running shoes and all that aggressive activity, you will wear that floor out. So for the price of a dust mop and periodically matching the frequency, you can actually prevent and that premature wear and actually, would prolong the life of your floor care program, your wood floor care program. Why wouldn't you do that? Probably because you don't know. Okay. So really, we also recommend when you have those tools, keep them dedicated to that sports floor area, right? Don't let it go out into the boiler room and go into classrooms and hallways and around entrances and things. Really dedicate that, invest in your wood floor program and invest in those particular tools and keeping them there, because that'll extend the life of everything. Proper proper backpack vacuuming and high dusting with the correct floor tools, whether they're electric or battery. We talked about Pro Team a few weeks ago with ours. I particularly like that one. It's the one I'm most comfortable with there. But they have unbelievable high dusting tools, that go up into the vents and where the fans circulate and that, and then also the floor. You can go through in half the time. There's all kinds of studies online for that. And Unger also has a tremendous line of dusting tools and things like that for you as well, right? And then damp mopping with a quality neutral cleaner or a quality neutral disinfectant. In this case, we have a specific one, ES31, that's specifically designed for wood floor cleaning. You can use your neutral cleaning. I know right now there's a question coming in about what's the difference between the two, and we'll explain that. But I mean, also with COVID-19, not a bad idea to talk about a neutral disinfectant, which would be our ES364 in this particular case. When it comes to number 3, which is interim, which really considers and really addresses maximum labor savings. This is like doing a scrub and, or I guess it's not like doing a scrub and reco. This is really like extending the life here and really the demand for athletic foot traction and high shine is a priority, right? You've got sports groups coming in from out of town. You want to show off your facility. You want to have a nice high shine. It looks clean. It looks safe. And obviously they want to have the squeaky shoe syndrome there. The coaches all do. So we've talked about our ES3, 54 plus before, our burnishing cream. That's one that we use with a burnisher, and it instantly cleans and repairs and eliminates scratches and scuff marks and things and builds the shine. And most importantly, it increases the traction by about an average of 25%. You look at our past webinars, it's there. It should, if you have a wood floor program in your schools or your buildings or universities or colleges, you should have ES54 in your custodial and janitorial closet. We've also talked about ES95 plus. That's our traction restoration treatment. And that's either you damp mop it and walk away, or you can polish it to a high gloss. And it's an extremely labor efficient program. And that's really, I would use that if you don't have a burnisher. So it's great. You don't need that capital investment, or you could use it with a burnisher. So it's as universal as what your equipment is that you have there. Those two elements are both very fast. They continue to improve the foot traction. That lowers the risk of slip and fall, allowing you to respond to the complaints. It prolongs the life of your floor coating program. And the best part too is it smoothens the surface out, prevents those nooks and crannies from forming, really reduces the amount of them. That lowers the risk of COVID-19 and bacteria risk. Okay, so this is interim maintenance, right? And then we get to number 4, which is the last one, and that is our restorative one, and that's really like a scrub and recoat on a vinyl floor program. Okay, it takes that top 1 or 2 coats of aged, dull, and damaged, scratched floor coating, and it prepares the surface for a fresh, long-lasting top coat. It's less downtime. There's less sports facility disruption, so you can shut the facility down for really 1 to 2 days maximum, and you're back for a basketball tournament, a full-fledged one. It'll reduce. It's a 90% savings over deep sanding and relining the gymnasiums, the basketball courts, racquetball, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. That avoids that from doing it, saving thousands of dollars at a 90% savings approximately, right? Lowers the risk of slip and fall, brings it back to a fresh, outstanding professional image. And we recommend using our ES30, which is a specific prep product that works great to remove just the right amount and prepare it for the top coat of our ES32. So that's really the restoration program there. If you look at any of our material on the website, you will see that we have a nice, clean wood floor care program offering. ES30 is the prep, right? That is one set of instructions, one way to put it on, one type of pad to use, giving you that uniform preparation and then the right grip that you need, preparing the surface to accept the coating of finish. Okay, then we go right to our ES32, which is what I call the best performing water-based wood floor coating program in North America. We've tried and true. We manufacture this in-house. We've developed this in-house. To be quite honest, in the early stages, we didn't quite have the best formula that we wanted to take to market. That was at least 15 years ago. For the last 7, 8, 9 years, we've got a formula that I will put about against anybody anywhere. It performs regardless of what goes on in your facility. Low odor, safer, VOC compliant, exceptional traction, turns around in 24 to 48 hours. Nice gloss, nice leveling, nice forgiveness for the custodial people putting it on. And by the way, I know I don't mention it here, but we're totally prepared to train you virtually. We've actually spent more time in wood floor gymnasiums and that across North America than probably most. We're very proud of what we do, and we use a weighted T-bar with this particular program, so it's easy. So you'll see in our marketing material, there's lots of marketing material that we have around, complete brochure on wood floor coatings, and all of these things are in here, but proven, safer, labor efficient, traction built in, cost effective, quickly responds to repair and to complaints and slip issues. If you have any, if you have a spill, it mops up quickly. You can respond and eliminate the risk of slip and fall. Works with traditional equipment. You need a swing machine and an auto scrubber. You don't need anything fancy, right? So is it facility friendly for you? Absolutely, right? Here's the instructions. I'm not going to go over them. Because it's all here, it's periodic cleaning and maintenance. I guess I will cover a little bit about ES31. That product there is the right formula for the right job for cleaning all of the natural and type of debris that falls in sports facilities. The right surfactant built in, safe for wood floor coatings, responds, not leaving residual behind, sticky behind, not biting into the coating, softening it or doing whatever. And look, a lot of people I know use a white pad and water. Okay, water doesn't pick up anything. Right? It may spread the dirt around or whatever, but it can't break down the soils of sweat and whatever from sports type fitness centers and athletics and things like that and students. This has the right amount of detergency that breaks it down, suspends it within its soil, and allows you to mop it up or vacuum it up or auto scrub it up. I mean, for maybe a few more dollars a gallon or a liter or whatever, why wouldn't you pick the one that actually naturally does the job best and correct the first time? That's what we recommend. You can also use a neutral disinfectant, our ES364 in this day and age there with the risk of COVID-19. I would recommend that periodically for sure, but your number one go-to is ES31 for sure. Okay, so the Golden Bill, obviously is out again. People keep saying, when is it coming up? When's it coming up? It's here. We had a fellow from the University of Guelph win it a couple of weeks ago there, and it's up for grabs for the first one that wants it. I want to tie in here, obviously, proper disinfecting. We cannot lose sight of that. One of our most popular questions is, the fact of, in fact, I did my first virtual school board training session this week, and this was we spent the majority of the time on really how to properly disinfect, because some people just don't know, or we take for granted or lose sight the fact that maybe people know, but they forget. And if I ask everybody at home how they disinfect their kitchen, I'll guarantee you they spray and they wipe. And if you are doing that, you are failing, right? Without question there. So always use a registered product. Registration is absolutely on every single label. You want to read and understand the label. Now, these labels are not friendly to read, any disinfectant, because all of the appropriate regulatory bodies expect to have so much information and all the words that everything kills and the directions and everything. It's a little small, and I actually have to put readers and sometimes a magnifying glass I have to use because they're small. It's, without doubt there, but all the information is there. Read it. Read the SDS sheet as well. Diluting properly. We've talked about that for the last several months about if you mix it heavy, in other words, rich, or you mix it lean, you are wrong. You're either going to get, you can't get overkill, but you can get underkill. We spend thousands and thousands of dollars educating people on the right dilution and how to use it that way. And by all means, do it. Right, regardless of the method, whether it's a pump-up sprayer, which everybody knows this is my favorite application method here, electrostatic sprayers, it doesn't matter what it is, charge buckets, whatever, make sure it's diluted properly. Always pre-clean the surface. That's removing the gross filth, allowing the full penetration of the disinfectant properties to work without being contaminated or the detergency or efficacy altered in any particular way. Respect the dwell time, regardless of what anybody says. The rules are on the label. If it says 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it may be, that's what you need to follow. And then when food surfaces are in play, obviously a potable water rinse. So really, I know I say it often, and hopefully it isn't a broken record, but believe me, this is your 5 steps of lowering the risk of of contamination and illness and an outbreak. Okay, so there we are with our spray and go outbreak prevention. That's been our #1 seller since the beginning of March. We are in great shape with all of the raw materials to manufacture that. We're shipping it out every single day. It has been an unbelievable, really contributing factor to lowering the risk of an outbreak. I mean, everybody loves the product. It works tremendous. It's registered with Health Canada. You've got a ready to use. You've got an economical 3.78 liter refill or gallon container, and you've got the pump up sprayer. And by the way, speaking about the pump up sprayers, we have 9,000 of them arriving in the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. Okay, so anybody has outstanding orders, they'll be filled immediately, and then we'll probably have, I know we'll have thousands on hand that are ready to go, and we will place another order for another 9,000 units probably within the next week or so. So those are there. They should be in every single one of your facilities applying, just ergonomically, employee wellness wise, avoiding carpal tunnel, those kinds of things. I mean, it is a real nice, inexpensive tool to use. I mean, if I'm doing washrooms, I don't want to be spraying a trigger bottle down around a urinal and bowl and things. I can adjust the spray on this, and I can put a stream on or a mist on, and I can be as far back as 5 or 6 feet. This device is like $30. Why wouldn't you invest in $30? Probably because you don't know about it. But these are the kinds of things we're trying to educate you on. Okay, our Serve Clean sanitizer. This is Asquith's, we call this Asquith's family. As a matter of fact, he's been instrumental in the formula, which is unbelievable. In fact, I think it's the best one going. But right now we've got, I just wanted to throw it out here. Here's the product codes. The tall bottle is the product code on the top, 29380-500P. That's with a pump. And we have 1,428 cases of that available right now. Oh, sorry. We have 1,328 cases because an order just came in for 100, I guess, this morning. Okay. So Matt's telling us here. Okay. The code, and then the next code, which is the one on the right, which is the short bottle. Okay. There's only 378 cases, but those are in stock right now. So if you're one of our distributors or customers, they are here and they're our first order, first gets, as a matter of fact. So I always like to throw that out there. Our webinar registration, past webinar recordings, they're all here. They're all here for you. I always tell you as well as under infection prevention, if you don't want to watch the whole entire video and you just want to watch the video that's about the product knowledge from that session, if you just go over to the top where it says Media Center and drill down to videos, then every single one of those videos are there for you and they're for everybody to see and learn, right? So in summary, before we get to the questions, this is our 22nd webinar. Thank you as always for your valuable time. We are continuing bi-weekly here. They're all available on the website. You will get automatic invites. Our next one is Friday, August the 28th at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And that will be the most recent COVID-19 updates along with a new format because we'll have an industry guest expert here that'll really give you her intake or her sort of, opinions and knowledge about what's going on in her industry. And she really represents a group of food packaging and custodial, janitorial members and distributors all across of Canada in this particular case. So let's see what she has to say. What are the challenges of her members and all of those kinds of things. So I think you'll find it very educational. I mean, she'll tell you firsthand what her challenges are. So really with that being said, thank you. And we'll, if we can find Asquith in the room, we'll go to him and we'll get started with questions, I guess. So good afternoon, Asquith.
Well, hello, Jimmy. How are you today?
Whew, geez, that was a lot to get through. As a matter of fact, that was definitely a lot. Did you notice today I wore my bright socks, Asquith?
You're pretty snazzy there, Jimmy.
Well, I noticed it. Oh, thank you. There's our questions coming in there. I wanted to try and keep up with you there on the sock, the sock pro. You were out socking me, is what you were doing there. So that's for sure. Well, welcome. Did you miss last week?
I did miss you last week.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I did take the day off,
You did you?
I did. I had to.
I did miss you.
Yeah, well, that's good. And I don't know why you didn't take the microphone and do it yourself.
You took the key with you.
Oh,
to the room. I forgot.
Oh, that's good. 22 webinars. Can you believe it?
Incredible.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? It's been a blast. It's been so much fun. And our reward, obviously, it's a lot of work goes on to it. But when you get the customer that calls you and says, I like what I hear, can you help me? Or some of those comments we've had there said, thank you for the honest information and the common sense to it. I mean, look, wood floors are today. Why are wood floors today? Because people asked.
Exactly.
Right? Do you remember those questions? Could you cover this?
Yes.
Could you cover it?
Yes.
That's why we do it. So a note out to everybody, if you want to talk about a certain topic, tell us. Right? And we'll
Just
add it.
tell us.
Yeah. We've done carpet. We've done wood floor now. We've done, vinyl. We've done washrooms.
Don't forget the hand sanitizer.
Oh, no, your family. Yep, the hand sanitizer there for sure. So it is great. And then next week we'll have Giselle in that'll really bring us up to speed with, what's going on in food packaging and custodial work.
I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah, it'll be good. So here, let's get to the questions here because we have about 13 minutes. So Terry, here's one from Terry here. I work in a long-term care facility in Western Canada. Would you be able to show us how to use the PPM paper in a charge bucket, please, one day, so we can ensure we're using the correct dilution for our disinfectants? And does Health Canada determine the PPMs or whatever there? So actually, we get these. Chris in IT, he actually sends us these, and I see him behind the scene. He prepares these as they come in, and he's actually got a charge bucket there too. So I guess first question while we're waiting for him is, does Health Canada determine the PPM? Who picks that?
Well, the PPM is that has to do a lot with the efficacy of the product in question.
Yes.
So a particular disinfectant must be diluted in a specific fashion based upon the requirements that the creator, the inventor, the the manufacturer wants to portray.
Right.
So, for instance, if you're going to have a 1:64 dilution product, it has to be, and you're making claims that it's efficacious against these microorganisms.
Right.
Then, of course, you got to verify that in fact it is that concentration in which to do it.
So they select the ppm that you've got to hit.
That's
What's the
correct.
average range of a ppm for a quat-based disinfectant? What would it be?
I would say it would be in the 500s.
Yeah. Okay.
On average. We do have some disinfectants similar to the ES15,
Yes.
which is 3,000
right up there,
ppm,
yeah.
so it's right up there.
Yeah,
But it all depends on the dwell time. It all depends on what the microorganisms you want to kill, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So it varies.
Excellent. Well, I know we got Chris here, and he's going to put you on the spot with a charge bucket
You're gonna
there.
put me
So
up. Okay.
maybe, we've actually got him in the film this time too, because he's wearing his mask
Well,
too,
thank-
which is
well,
great.
thank-
Okay.
thank
So
you.
we've got,
Okay.
what is in here, Chris? Is this 364? I think it's 364. Yeah, I seen the bottle
Okay.
over there. So he's
Okay.
got it mixed. Let's see if he
Okay.
mixed it right, actually.
Well, let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see if
yeah.
you did.
He was supposed to dilute it at what,
So
1 to
basically,
64?
this is a quat test strip.
Yeah.
And so basically, you dip this into the solution in
Mhm.
question, and then you match it. Simple. It's like a pH litmus test.
Yeah.
You'll have a color change here on this, so it's quite simple.
Well, when the swimming pool, we do that all the
Swimming
time.
pool?
Hot
Exactly.
tub water or whatever, you just match the color, right?
Absolutely. Just
So
match that.
is it okay if you touch it with all your fingers and things,
Yes,
or you
it's
should?
fine,
Yeah.
it's fine,
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just dipping it in there,
Just dip it in the air.
so everybody can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
So you're
you
getting
just
a
match-
color.
You just match the color.
Okay.
And
So
you
where
get-
are we
you got a
reading there?
PPMs here. So in this case, I
Looks
don't
like
think
600?
I don't think he mixed it right. We got 600 ppm.
600. And where do we need to be?
1,300.
Oh, geez, yeah, look at
We didn't
that.
mix it right.
Yeah.
But I think, but you get the point. And
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
and Chris deliberately did this so
Yeah.
that we can show that we don't have the correct concentration, and that's the significance of having.
Yeah, you may think you mixed it right.
Yes.
You may have had a dispenser on the
Yes,
wall that
yes.
you assumed was
Mhm.
correct, right?
Mhm.
You may have started off at 7 o'clock this morning with this bucket
Yes,
and
yes.
been to 6 classrooms or 6 patients' rooms or 16 or whatever.
Mhm.
So, what's your advice there for the environmental services or the custodial janitorial cleaning team? Should
Well,
they check it often,
check
or
it,
what
check
should
it
they
very
do?
often. Check
Yeah,
it very
yeah,
often.
yeah.
And if it's not meeting the requirements set by your manager, and and you'll see that on the label as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Then of course you dispose of the solution and get a new fresh solution.
Yeah, yeah. So,
And you really should change the water, the diluted product as often as
Yeah.
as possible.
because there's only so much it can
Yes,
do,
exactly.
right? There.
Exactly.
So that's,
Mhm.
I mean, obviously it gets expensed every
Mhm.
time you take something from it. And if you're
Exactly.
cleaning out and
Yes.
rinsing your cloths in there, the dirty ones, you can obviously
Yes.
expense the ppm
Yes.
concentration,
Yes.
and that's good. So that's a great question to start off with, Terry.
It's
there,
a very
you
good
know,
question, Terry.
like definitely there.
Mhm.
So obviously ppm paper, and well, actually she's added another one here. I believe that quat disinfectants range from 200 to 800 ppm on average. Some obviously being
Yes,
higher, but
yes.
do peroxide-based disinfectants measure the same? Good question.
No, it's a very good question. Hydrogen peroxide as a disinfectant is around 5,000 ppms. And
Okay.
so we have a similar kind of thing, but it's not exactly this, but we do have test strips as well that would indicate the correct concentration.
So,
That's that.
so specific to hydrogen peroxide
Specific to
formula.
hydrogen peroxide.
Okay, so
This
I couldn't
one
use
here-
that one.
No, you couldn't
Oh,
use this.
okay, okay.
We've got one that's specific to hydrogen
Yeah,
peroxide.
okay.
We've got one specific to quartz.
Yeah. So I guess what we should
And
do.
of course, there's one that's specific to sodium hypochlorite.
Yeah, sodium hypochlorite. Maybe
As
what we
an
should do
example.
is maybe bring an example of those all in and,
We can
and
do
show
that.
them
How
what
about
they are.
next time we'll
We'll do
do
it.
something.
We'll add it there. Okay. Here's Candace. Are there the new floor care procedures you spoke about last week on the website yet? I know for a fact it's the ones. Actually, it's the 5 critical elements, and they are on the website now, Candace. So they
Okay.
are there. In fact, I seen them this morning, as a matter of fact, and I
Okay.
have them in my briefcase. The
Okay.
finished goods. They're all colored for vinyl floor care and general floor care sheet goods and things.
Yeah.
Here's Mike. What's the best time of year to extract building carpeting? Should we apply a disinfectant, as you discussed in your video a few months back? If the occupants have sensitivities, Will doing a water rinse lower this along with using cooler water?
Yes, of course. Cooler water is important because then you don't have as much volatility.
Yes.
And so therefore, sensitive folks won't be affected.
Yeah, like sensitivities in their
Yes,
lungs, the respiratory,
yes,
and stuff,
respiratory
right?
things.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And of course, rinsing with potable water would also help as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know when we did the video, and if you look back, this is Mike here. If you look back at, and it's even titled in the webinar series online, we did cover the disinfectant and using a disinfectant, using a regular cleaner, and then spraying a sanitizer or
Mhm.
disinfectant.
Mhm.
Then we did a sanitizing as well there.
That's right.
And, so whether you sanitized or disinfected, and we also did a water rinse. So all three of those procedures are on there, Mike. So, but it's great that you bring it up because cool water, obviously,
Yes.
mixing it correctly,
That's
all of
essential.
there's no
Essential.
question. Yeah.
You got to mix it. Absolutely.
But one thing we didn't answer is what's the best time of year to do it?
Well, you can, the fall is good.
Yeah.
Summer is good.
Yeah.
It all depends as, the environment. I think the indoor environment is more important.
I think the traffic of the facility for one.
Yeah.
I think you can't extract too much, right? I would maybe stay away for hot humidity days because you'd have a lot of dry time.
Yes, the
Yeah.
dry time, yeah. But
Yeah. I think also too, I know we've covered the encapsulating cleaner ES93 Plus.
Mhm.
That's a real winner in this hot, humid weather because it crystallizes and dries and actually reduces the odor and
Yes,
stuff
and you
there.
come
So
back and just vacuum that up.
that's on the
That's good.
webinar there too.
It is.
Here's one from Debbie. Okay, this one looks interesting. This is a long question here, Asquith. So
Okay.
in the past, you've mentioned using a food service type sanitizer in residential kitchens.
Mhm.
I volunteer at a local church, and there appears to be store-bought Javex everywhere. The smell is really bad. There's no way that we can know what's in it or if it's measured right, and there's no instructions on the label. It is found in many different types of bottles with masking tape and handwritten names. It says dishes and things, I guess.
Mhm.
We have no idea how long it's been sitting around or if even it's still effective. Here's the thing. So here's the question. What do you suggest that everyone can use safely and have peace of mind? Great. question.
Well, first off, everything should be properly labeled.
Yes.
Number one.
It's the law, right?
No, it's a law, especially if you're going to be in a public space,
Mhm.
where I don't know what you've got in that label. So it should be properly labeled. So I would say for all those things, we should properly dispose of those.
Yeah.
And
Of what she's got now.
of what she's got.
Yeah, because they're not in
Yes, they're not
compliance,
in
right?
compliance. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what they are.
Right.
But, sodium hypochlorite could be used as a sanitizer, no doubt about it. But you
Yes.
have to know first, the concentration that you're starting out with,
Yes.
and know how, therefore, to dilute it properly
Mhm.
and to apply it properly.
Yeah.
But all those things, based on the question we have here, seems to me that we don't. All these things are question marks. We don't know what they
It
are.
sounds like it to me.
So I would dispose of those things.
Yep.
I'll first make sure the surface is absolutely clean,
Yes.
and we use Surf Clean Sanitize.
Mhm.
You spray on. You can.
Actually, you've got
Yeah,
a bottle
we've
right
got a
there.
bottle right here.
Look at
So you
that.
can use that.
Yeah.
Use this. You spray on.
This is for Debbie.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
Deb. You spray on and let sit for 60 seconds,
yeah.
and away you go.
So is
And
that
then you're
bottle
good to go.
ready to use, Asquith? Like,
It's
do I have to
ready to
dilute
use.
it?
It's ready to use.
So you put
It's
you
ready
just
to
put a
use.
trigger sprayer on top.
Put a trigger spray on top
Okay.
of it.
And then
Spray.
so Debbie's ready to go.
Ready to go.
So anybody in the facility knows they've got a guaranteed sanitizer
Yes.
ready, very convenient.
Yes.
Okay.
You
excellent.
can, and that way you're lowering the risk.
And if an inspector comes in, because I know in Ontario they've hired an additional 600 inspectors, they come in, you're covered.
You're covered.
Anywhere. Yeah.
You're covered.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Good question. Here's
Very
Ken.
good question.
Here's Ken here. I thought you mentioned that you would soon have your new Canadian ES364H disinfectant registered with Health Canada with a DIN. Can you provide us with an update on this when this will happen, please? And also, will it be the same dilution as the original ES364, and will it have better efficacy? That's Ken. I know one Ken that may ask that question.
I think we know that Ken too, don't we?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so. Well,
Three.
there you go.
Yes, it's here.
It's here.
It's here.
Really?
Yes,
Like
it's
here.
Jimmy.
Really?
Yes.
You're not leading us astray.
I would never
Okay?
lead you astray.
Because you did with the hand sanitizer for a little while.
We'll just,
have to throw that in
I
there.
can see that joy in your eyes, Joe.
I like that, actually.
It's
And it's
here.
registered with Health
It's
Canada.
registered at Health Canada.
Excellent.
It's on the list.
Really? On the list?
Absolutely on
So I'm
the
not gonna
list.
have to field 500 emails to say when's it going on the list.
Jimmy, absolutely not.
Excellent. So
It's here.
absolutely not. What? It's not on the list, or
It's
it is
on the list. You will
Okay.
not have to field 10,000
Excellent.
questions.
That's great news.
relative to
That's
whether or not
great
it's on the
news.
list.
Is it the same dilution?
Same dilution,
1:64.
1:64.
Excellent. Excellent. So better microbial efficacy a little bit here and there.
Yes.
So
yes,
that
yes.
COVID-19 registered DIN number. When's
Yes.
it going into production? Think the next
I
few
would
weeks?
think
or so?
it, yes, by month end for sure.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
that's good. So today is the middle of the month. So,
It
so
is by the end of this month. Yes, you'll have that in production.
yeah, so that's good news. That's good news there. So it's
Excellent.
64H. I mean, that's again another example of us making the team making rapid decisions, intelligent decisions, and really bringing innovative products and knowledge transfer and innovative products. You can see it
Yes,
right in our
yes,
circles,
yes,
innovative products and
yes.
programs to market.
Mhm.
That's just, I mean, we've done that steadfast since the risk of COVID-19.
Yes.
Right. So that, I
And
mean,
we got to give a lot of credit to our incredible team.
the whole
team
entire
of
team.
experts.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
lab, the production.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And we're still, what I heard even this morning in the debrief meeting is we're continuing to run, that 20-hour a day shifts, double shifts, and the whole works. Well, that's good. Well, be prepared to
Yes.
ramp up there.
Yes.
I see our clocks winding down here. Here's a wood floor question.
Mhm.
Does your wood floor program you talked about today really work in real life high traffic school buildings? I will tell you it
Well,
does.
there's lots of testament to that.
This is
A lot
Adam.
of schools.
Yeah,
that have
schools,
this.
colleges,
Yes,
universities.
Yes.
Does it matter if there was OMU coating on the floor? And for those that don't know, that's an oil modified urethane
yes,
coating
yes.
on the floor before. And how many screens do you recommend to use to prepare the floor in an average double gymnasium?
Well, let's say screen as much as possible because you put the work in first, and you'll have very little work to do after.
Yeah, if you prep it right.
Prep.
Yeah, I've done hundreds of gymnasiums myself, and on average, you use about 10 screens for a double
Yes,
gymnasium.
I remember you and I did a few.
Oh yeah, we've done a few. Yeah, that's for sure. In our experimental days and developing days.
yes.
And one thing from a budgetary standpoint for everybody, this is Adam asking this question, is make sure you use both sides of the screen,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
some people only use one side
I
and
know.
that's it, but you can double your
You should
your
do
thing
that as
there.
well.
So
Yes.
for sure. So anyway, with that, I see our timer. We're out, Asquith.
Are we out of time
For
again?
sure. Friday, August the 14th, it's continues to go by. I'm looking forward next week. We got a little bit of change there and some outside expertise there. My closing remarks really are, thank you very much. It means the world to us that you pay attention, that you come into it, you revisit and all of those things. And it really means the world there. Wash your hands. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to say that. 'Cause
No.
that's your word, but
But
the-
the more you say that, the better it is.
I just really want to say, look in the mirror. Because that person looking back at you is the one responsible. We've been saying that all along. You know who you are when you don't wear a mask, and you know who you are when you wear one. So
That's
that
right.
would really be my advice: is everybody doing? So turn it over
Yeah.
to you.
Basically, I'm just going to echo exactly what you said. Continue once you're in.
Yeah, I got to bring your little family out. After.
Okay,
It wouldn't be
okay,
right
well,
if
that's okay.
we didn't have that.
Yes, Hey,
This is amazing product.
it's
actually. I like
it's
this
great
one.
product.
Yeah, it is.
Wash your hands and continue to social distance. And if you can't do that, of course, wear your mask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wear your mask. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Friday the 28th. Thank you.